And text line is 773-763-9278. Credo Mobile, a progressive phone company that is better for all people and the planet. Just saying. Also want to thank our sponsors at Monaco Brewing Company. Next Tuesday, the 13th. Is that right? This month is already going too fast. Oh, happy Cinco de Mayo. We'll talk about that later. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm making, we'll talk about that in a moment, but I'm making tacos. I'm making chicken chorizo. Supremo's making chicken chorizo now, and they happen to be at a TV studio that I happen to be allowed to go on this morning because we were all surprised that they didn't cancel me at the last second on Chicago Daytime on Channel 9. And but the segment before, Lady B, they had a cooking segment, they had a cocktail segment, and I was like, how can the comics can be funny while you're cooking and shaking up cocktails? So the good folks at Supremo gave me some chicken chorizo, and I'm going to make that up with some papas, make some potatoes and some tacos, and of course some beans on the side and some rice, because that's how I do it. And we're going to celebrate. So Cinco de Mayo, for folks who don't know, it is not Mexican Independence Day. That comes in September. This is to celebrate the Battle of Puebla, that the Mexican forces who are outnumbered by the French won a battle, sadly in a war that was lost. At any rate, it's a celebration of overcoming great odds and the big threat to this beautiful city. And I have to tell you, I've been to Puebla. It is absolutely gorgeous if you like food. I don't even mean Mexican food, because this is like no food you've ever. I mean, Mexico City, absolutely a culinary heaven, and Puebla is the birthplace of mole. There was a convent that was preparing for the first visit of a pope to America, and they wanted to highlight the indigenous foods in the area. So that's why they brought in like pumpkin seeds and cocoa beans and all these other things, and that's where you get your fantastic moles. And oh my God, they're puerco barbacoa. Okay, anyway. I'm talking, well, because I'm already talking about the food I'm going to celebrate with tonight. Now, it is, of course, much more Americanized, but so is St. Patrick's Day. So I'm very proud to be part of two cultures that that come from countries where the countries go, why are you celebrating that? We don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day the way you do. We don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo the way you do. But it is it's a way for folks to have a good time. And there have been some situations where you're like, it's maybe not an appropriate thing to wear, but we don't need to get into that. Just enjoy the food, enjoy the music, enjoy stories, learn a little bit of the history. Jim in Chicago is on the line with us. Hey, Jim, what's on your mind, my friend?
Patty, did you go to Maximilian's Castle in Mexico City?
I don't believe. I went to Maximilian's Castle in Mexico City. No, I'm pretty sure, and I've been twice. Have you been in Mexico City?
Yes. So you mentioned the French, and he was installed by the French. And it was a famous suicide there, and it's something to see. It's a long, long way up. But speaking about Mexico,
I think it's in Chapultepec, right? Is it in Chapultepec? It's called Chapultepec Castle. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, dear. But it was Maximilian's shack until he was run out of town or shot or whatever he was having. But anyway, it's talking about ethnic groups. The Derby was run by a proud Venezuelan, Junior Alvarado. And on the way back to the winner's circle, he thanked his people in Venezuela. And to me, watching him come back and talking to, whoever the girl is that brings in the horse to the winner's circle, I was hoping that Trump would listen to it and how proud the Venezuelans are, and his parents and his friends in Venezuela. And you think about these poor people being put in the gulag, and how unfair it all is. That's my comment. Yeah, that's all. I just hope he was listening to it, because they're just as human, and we're all just as human as anybody else. Anyway, thanks, Pat.
I agree.
Thank you very much, sir.
Jim, here's my question. Yeah. Jim, did you win any money on the Derby?
No, well, journalism ran second.
Tistastic. I heard that Tistastic was going to be better in the mud.
Yeah, but here's the joke of it. I've been to the Derby many, many times, and I bet the Derby all my life. And when my wife was alive, we'd have a Derby party and so on. I never want cash to ticket on the Derby. One year, I bet a couple hundred on Demons Be Gone. He broke down out of the gate. I had the worst luck. No, but I mean, I'm just saying that is one race I never won. And my mother was the last year of cancer. She had small cell like your father, and she bet Charisma that year. And that horse won and paid, I think, $27 or something. But I never had any luck betting it. But I was glad that Junior Alvarado, the Venezuelan guy, won it because it just reminds us that how important immigrants are to the United States of America. I mean, you know, and the racing industry, Patty, wouldn't even exist without immigrants working at the track.
Right.
They support they had a big blowout in New York because they wanted to get higher wages. In California went against it, but without the immigrant people, there would be no horse racing. But anyway, Patty.
Yeah, I get you. Thank you so much, Jim. Good to hear from you, my friend. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
Take care, Patty. Thank you.
Of course. Let's take a break here. We'll take some more phone calls when we come back. We've got some great guests lined up for the show today. Of course, as Joan mentioned earlier, it is Motivational Monday, and Jen Zanotti will be joining us after 6 o'clock. We are going to talk again to Jason Berlin, who is the founder of the California-based Field Team 6. We're going to talk some more about organizing and getting our voices heard. We're also at 6:30 going to talk to Jim Alber, who is from Tomahawk, Wisconsin, and wants to talk about school funding and some possible upcoming boycotts. Let's take a break here, continue the conversation when we come back. If you want to call or text, you can call the Credo text and phone line at 773 Credo Mobile, 773-763-9278. More after this.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update. This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. Mind over matters.
Dr. Amy Harris Nuan, as you know, this show is about challenging you to think differently, to make different choices in your life, to take action, to create positive outcomes in your life. So I want to challenge you to look at your life holistically. To where am I satisfied? What areas need attention? And then go to work, take an action what you need to do.
Mind over matters with Dr. Amy Harris Nuan, Sundays at 10 a.m. on WCPT 820.
Do you disregard people's personal space? Sitting next to people in public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's 72-hour sale is happening now. Save up to 72% off on top brands, with queens starting at $149.99. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Union Strong Chicago continues to lead the way with progressive values and in preserving democracy. Your support of the Minocqua Brewing Company Super PAC efforts in Wisconsin and beyond strengthens the fight against MAGA Republicans. You can now purchase progressive beers like Labor Lager, Love Wins Fruited Sour, and the Resistance IPA in Chicago at Rogers Park Provisions, Diversey Beer, Wine, and Spirits in Lakeview, Park West Liquor, Wine, and Beer in Lincoln Park, Logan Square Liquors, and Tip Top Food and Liquors in Westtown. Visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com for all their Chicagoland locations. As always, no matter how bad our sports teams are, please drink responsibly.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
He's driving it home with Patti
Which
Vasquez.
reminds me, I did not know that Dan Levy was going to be there. Did I know that? Dan Levy, that voice you just heard, who does a lot of our promos, and that big booming voice that you hear, was with us announcing live and in real time. That was so cool. I haven't seen him. I don't even know when the last time was I saw him. Wasn't that great?
Yes, it was great.
He's such a sweet guy.
He is.
Can I tell you a secret? I made a really big mistake years ago. I don't know if Dan's listening. We don't need to tell him. So it wasn't so much it's just I didn't know better. You don't know till you know, right? And I was, I didn't fight for him to be a producer because I didn't know I could. For me specifically, you know what I'm saying? Right. And he did such great job work with it was funny because I also got bad advice from more experienced radio hosts from out of town who said that it was better to work with somebody who might challenge you, like you might not agree on everything. And I know that did not go well. That did not go.
I don't know about that.
I know. I didn't. Yeah, they were like, but it's good radio, and maybe that's different for guys, right? Where they have that contentiousness, right? But this turned into something extremely toxic, to the point where, there is that sort of given, back and forth, and with this guy that I ended up with, it got ugly. At any rate, so I who knows? Maybe Dan Levy and I would have been like, no, I don't think so.
No,
right? But hey, hindsight is 20/20. Right. That's all I'm saying. I know that he put in a good word for me when they were asking around. They asked Dan Levy because I had a reputation because of the back and forth there. He said I never had any problems with her, which is the best stamp of approval you could give somebody. I don't know what I was talking about. But he was great. It was great to see him. It's great to see everybody. Let me get to some of these texts we got here, because I can't explain the difference between my previous radio job and here. Right. I mean, just working with you, working with Jim Addy and Matt. I mean, it's just such a different environment. And I don't know. It's because, and it does, when something starts to unravel, it affects everything. And so I'm just really happy to be here. So happy to have met people yesterday. Patty, I want to thank WCPT for the anniversary party on Saturday. It was so great being with so many like-minded people. And you're right. Next time you'll need a much larger venue. It was really that good. Thanks. I saw your shirt, Floyd. I didn't get a chance to talk to you that much either, Floyd Rubin. I know I feel like I was there for a little bit, but people were ready to go after 5 hours almost. Because the doors open at 10:30. People were lining up even before that. So thank you all for your patience and taking care of everybody. So thank you so much for that. Thank you, Floyd, for coming and joining us. Allison sent a picture. There's some social media platforms that I love, and one of them is not platforms, accounts. Midwest versus Everybody. I don't know if you follow that, but it's kind of like the, the images that come to mind that I've seen before. Like, you ever gone to a party and you'll see in the garbage can all the plates are flipped upside down because we don't want the host to know that we didn't like the food, or that we don't want them to see how much food we're throwing away, so we turn it upside down like that. They're like Midwestern politeness. So this one is Cinco de Mayo. I love Mexican food, and it's a bag of Doritos with the taco fixins in that. Which, what do they call it? Like street tacos?
The street tacos.
Street tacos, yeah. So it actually looks really good. I'm not turning that down. It's got some lettuce and cheese and some ground meat in there. Just saying, that looks good. All right, I would do that.
Real good.
I would do that. Let me see if I got all the texts in. If I don't, I'll get to everybody. Let me get to Steve in Des Plaines, who's on the line. Steve, it was so wonderful to meet you, my friend. How are you doing?
It was great. I was telling Lady B, it's like, I'm looking around, and there's these celebrities, and the mayor of Chicago were rubbing elbows with the rich and famous, or at least the famous.
Sure.
And it was
great.
And it was Will. I talked to Miss Bilbake, the famous prosecutor from the Nixon era. I talked to her, and my God, what an offering. What a fabulous offering it was. And let me tell you something. I'm looking around, and I see this big burly guy with gray hair in the corner. And I go, I bet you that's Jim. Jim's got that voice.
Right.
And then I walk over to Lady B and say hi, and Jim comes up and he says, "Hey, I'm from Hoffman Mistakes." Oh my God,
that was Dave.
He was Dave from Hoffman Mistakes.
I don't know if we're supposed to say that Dave looks like what we think Jim looks like. I don't think.
Yeah.
I wanted to pinch Dave's cheeks. He was so cute.
Yeah, he's a big
You
bear.
too.
And
I was so good to meet. I wanted to pinch both your cheeks. Sorry.
Dave is a Youper. He grew up in the UP. He had a little bit of accent left over, too. Interesting man. Hey, real quick, I've got a real quick, you're talking about change of attitude. If you give me 2 minutes, I got an incredible story that happened when I left your show, I had to leave early because I had tickets for Sun Shun, the Chinese ballet.
Oh,
are you familiar with that?
I've never seen it, but tell us about it.
Well, I mean, my friend got tickets for it, and it started at 2:00. I was like 5 minutes late by the time I got down there. And I have to confess. I mean, and please forgive me don't forget, I'm a Vietnam era vet. My dad fought the Japanese in World War II. And I thought, I was under the impression that these people were like a touring group from communist China. And in reference to these people, me and my guys at the bar, I'm sorry to say, we refer to them as the communist chinks or group.
Hold on a second. You know what? I was going to catch you on the first one that I was a little bit like, did I miss that?
Okay, that's all.
No. I dumped it, Lady B. We're good there. Yeah, but the first one was also questionable. And I was going to go back and tell you that. Yeah, go ahead.
I want my listeners to forgive me. And it's just like, so I go, it was a magnificent show, magnificent. And at the end, I learned that these people are protesting communist China, this troupe. They're all American Chinese dancers, and I was like, oh, my God. And I'll tell you what, I was talking to a woman in the lobby, and you could tell that she was probably from China originally, and she had a thick Chinese accent, and she was like one of the ushers. And I asked her, I says, do you think that China will ever let you guys come over? She said, oh, no, we'll never can go there. We can't go there. And I kind of got the drift of it. And then she goes, and I go, well, how often do you go back to see your family? I haven't seen my family in 11 years. I can never go back. I'm on the list. She goes, I'm on the list.
Oh, my God. That's very sad.
Oh, and we were talking, and forgive me again, I walked away, and I made a vow. I will never, ever say those words again.
There you go. Oh, I appreciate that. That was what I was in it. I was like, did I hear what I thought you heard the first time?
Yes.
With where your dad fought and who your dad fought. But the second one, definitely. And look, I grew up in a household where I heard a lot of this language too, there's sometimes like impulses, and as long as we make each other aware of that and give each other grace on that, and then you recognize it, I think we're good. I feel better about it.
When she said I can never go back,
right?
It's like, my God, if I'd grown up in a privileged place in the world, a privileged life here, relatively speaking, and this poor woman can never go home. Probably not in her lifetime, she said. Probably not. And as long as the communists are in charge. But I walked away, and I'm like, oh, my God. Talk about a soul-searching moment I had on the way home. And I've been telling some of the guys at the Legion, I will never say those words again. I will never.
Do you argue with some of your friends? Right. No, I know. I understand
whatever.
that. Well, here, and that's. But Steve,
slurs, words, designations.
But Steve, wouldn't you say
it was a growth moment, if you will?
Gotcha.
Change of attitude.
Yes.
Change of attitude.
And that's what I contend. That's what I contend. What makes it progressive is hello. Can you not hear me? Can Steve not? Steve, can you not hear me? You can hear me, right, Lady B? Steve? Oh, poor Steve. Hold on. That was weird. Steve? Is it because is my dump, like, stuck?
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Steve, can you not hear me?
Okay. Me right now I'm hearing myself asking Steve if he can hear me. What a weird loop we were in. I was going to ask Steve, and I was going to explain that's what I think progressivism. Are we on the air? Because maybe the dump button got stuck. Oh, yeah, because I could hear myself on his radio. But... is being able to take new information, take a correction or a nudge, and say, "Oh, okay, I shouldn't use that language." In contrast to this woman on the playground who used these horrendous words toward a little boy with autism, and because she used one of the worst words you could possibly use in any moment, and in order to hurt somebody, has raised over I think it's at least $400,000 to protect her for the police are now investigating her to get legal stuff covered for her because she used the N word. People have raised because they're like, and that's the thing, Steve. When I corrected Steve, he didn't say, "Well, that's what we said," or it's just like he didn't try to defend it. He said, "Oh, I'm never going to do that again." That's the difference. Okay. We were talking about Rachel Maddow because Hal Sparks was talking about how she used to do. She would tie up the printer at the station that they worked at, and I was gonna say I remember always hearing like her segments were always you could hear paper ruffling like as she was getting to the next segment. He said that's where it came from. I need a sound effect that's like that. I don't want it to be Rachel, but it's like that's me crumpling up. Ah, that's me. But you can't really hear me throw crumpled paper. Just saying. Okay. Oh, Steve calling back. Steve, I was going to say, do you get in arguments? Hi, Steve. I don't know what happened there. Do you get?
I don't know what happened either.
Do you get in arguments with your friends at the Legion? Do you guys? I mean, I would imagine a lot of them are conservative.
I think at this point, I think it was more of a quiet kind of like, well, okay, and that was it, and I got my point across. I'm not going to like be. They're going to make their choices, and I put my position forward, and I told them how a lovely young woman, attractive, and she was so tall. See, she was taller than me for a Chinese person. I was kind of looking up to her,
right?
And she goes, "I can never go back."
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh my God, how dare I? How dare I?" Be derogatory.
No, I gotcha. Well, Steve, it was wonderful to meet you, and thank you for sharing that story and for taking the correction. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thanks.
Have a good one.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, talk to you later. Bye. All right. We are going to talk to our friend from Field Team 6. They have an event coming up that you should know about that we can participate with online. We are going to be talking to our friend from Field Team 6. We're going to talk to Jason Berlin. They have Registered Democrats Summit coming up on May 22nd. So we'll find out about that when we come back on WCPT 820 and KKNW 1150 AM, Seattle, Washington.
If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Last year, Mitch, 50, railroad worker, income 100 G's a year, score 630, called to consolidate his debt with a cash-out refinance. Team Hochberg loan officer Johnny Hendrickson helped Mitch pay off his debt and save $800 a month. Johnny called Mitch for a 6-month post-closing checkup and informed him his credit score was now over 700. Then Johnny helped Mitch lower his rate, remove the PMI, and save him another $400 a month while covering all his closing costs. Let's review. Team Hochberg loan officer Johnny Hendrickson helped Mitch eliminate his debt, save $1,200 a month, and improve his scores over 100 points. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit that website you know you love, 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NLS 1124061.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
City streets to political beats. You're driving it home with Patti Vasquez. Where Progressive Talk fuels the ride.
Thank you so much. Ooh. A lot of energy in that one. Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. Joining us on the line is Jason Berlin from Field Team 6 to talk about their upcoming event. There's a Registered Democrats Summit coming up on May 22nd. Jason, how are you doing this evening?
So good. So good to talk to you. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Tell folks about Field Team 6.
Yes. So Field Team 6 is a volunteer army on a mission, and that mission is Registered Democrats Save the World. And since 2019, that is what we've been doing. We have, by the 22 midterms, we had delivered 2.3 million new Democratic and independent voters, and that is to the vast majority to swing states and districts. That's where we focus, where just a few new voters can swing an election. And yes.
I love that. I love that. So tell us about the catalyst for this. Well, where did the energy come from to create Field Team 6?
Well, I was a TV writer for 18 years, and then Trump got elected in 2016, and I lost my mind, like a lot of us.
So straightforward and completely honest and succinct. Okay, go ahead.
And I quit doing that so that I could jump full-time into the resistance, and just met the most inspiring people I've ever met in my life. Vast majority of the people in the resistance, the activist, infrastructure nationwide are women, about 85%. It's like yoga class ratios. And they're the ones really saving the world, who deserve all the credit. So started registering Democrats and got totally hooked. Found out that really no one is doing that. You would think the Democratic Party nationally registers a lot of Democrats. They don't. They do about zero voter registration nationwide. And so that is the vacuum that Field Team 6 stepped in to fill, especially in every swing state and every swing House district in the country.
That's wild. And I agree. I mean, I know my friend Maggie O'Keefe, who's the committee woman for the 40th Ward, talks about this a lot. She carries voter registration with her. And there are folks who talk about registering voters. They don't necessarily talk about registering Democrats. So tell us, for folks who are like, well, are you supposed to talk about what you're registering for, what party to tell us, walk us through a little bit about encouraging folks, one, to register to vote, and two, how to pitch that to folks.
Yes. Okay. Absolutely. Great question. So, but Field Team 6 is the one and only national organization doing proudly partisan voter registration. So we try to register as many Democrats as possible. And the reason for that, of course, is, if you believe in voter registration, ironically, you should not be registering Republicans right now, because they don't. And they're not that Republicans in the wilds, just people they may believe in voter registration, but the elected MAGA Republicans are attacking every stage in the life cycle of a voter, including registration. So that's why we try to do partisan registration. And to do that, for in-person voter drives, really the most powerful thing you can do is just wear a shirt that looks liberal. And maybe it says Democrat, or has a picture of Kamala, or, Biden or Obama or Bernie or Hillary, whoever. But
right.
If it looks Democratic, it acts as Republican repellents. And they just
they know they don't want none. Right.
Register. You should register whoever walks up to you, but they just don't walk up to you.
Amazing. By the way, Jason Berlin, a graduate of Harvard University. Is that correct? Look at you.
Very fancy.
Very fancy. K-fancy.
Yes.
Which, and also, congratulations to your alma mater for not bending the knee, literally. I mean, how proud are you?
I'm so proud.
Yes.
So proud, right? That's, I didn't know if they would do the right thing as a huge organization with the biggest endowment in the world. They did the right thing. They allowed that to give them independence to fight back. And we're seeing it across all sectors. Colleges forming these mutual aid compacts across the country, big law fighting back. Every single law firm that is fighting the Trump regime is winning in court right now. And in the people, in the growing protests across the country, that is what will save this democracy. All of us at every level speaking up and standing up and peacefully fighting back.
Well, I want to know more, because I want to. So I don't know how much we talked about this before, because I know we talked to you before the election last year. And so I go door knocking primarily in Wisconsin, and not because there are, of course, things to fight for in my home state of Illinois and in my city of Chicago. It's just there's several reasons, but one, I know that there's more impact in flipping Wisconsin, and so I've never gone. Do you guys go door knocking? Do you canvass for registration? Do you get a list of like there are unregistered voters at certain locations? What's the best technique or practice that you use?
Yes. Okay. So it's great that you knock doors. Everything you do matters. And what we found is canvassing, door knocking, is great for getting out the vote, not so great for voter registration. What we do for voter registration, we train people in in-person voter drives at high traffic areas like community colleges, pride events, DMVs, things like that.
Yes.
But the overwhelming majority, super great places to do this. The overwhelming majority of our work, we use a first of its kind database to do. So this database, COVID forced us to go digital, and we started building this unique database. It's filled now with millions of unregistered people not registered to vote who we deem likely Democrats, and using a blend of age, gender, location, some purchase data. If they, buy artisanal kale and tote bags, stuff like that. They may be a Democrat. And it's actually really helpful, and it works. So we use that database to send emails, texts, postcards. We have done phone calls also, and those are the four ways we've used mainly to do this digital outreach: email, text, postcard, phone calls. And to join us, because we always need more volunteers to do this. We are only 3 people on paid staff, including me, and we have almost 35,000 volunteers across the country now. So I'm super proud of. We always need more, though. So if you go to fieldteam6.org.
Yeah, sorry. I'm signing up. I signed up for the event. All right. Go to. I didn't mean to cut you off with the contact information. Please share that again, where people can sign up.
Oh, no problem. It's fieldteam6, the number 6.org, like Field Team 6, because we are the crack voter registration group that goes behind enemy lines in these purple states and does the impossible.
Yep.
And yes, you can find all our volunteer opportunities there. There's always stuff to do. We're doing it right now in Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey for super important elections this November.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, to flip the House in November 26th, which is just a year and a half away. It's right around the corner.
It is.
So
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I mean, how exciting was it to see the results come out of Wisconsin for their Supreme Court race in the face of what Elon Musk was trying to basically ramrod through? It shows that the ground game works,
It does. It does. We beat his infinite money hose. And we beat it by, he hosed it down with money, handing out all these comically oversized checks, and the will of the people won by 10 points in a landslide. How beautiful. It's so validating to activism also. So every single election, every special election since November has swung to the left between 11 and 25 points.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
it's significant. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about not giving up, even in the red states, right? We talked to people from all over the country, candidates in Florida, in Idaho, Montana. We talked to everybody because if we turn out, like you said, in Florida, it was like a 14, 15-point shift in some of those, I think in those 2 congressional districts. So it matters.
Yeah.
So I'm super I'm super excited to do this. Again, the summit, and you've got some great speakers. Tell us a little bit more about the event coming up on the 22nd.
We do, yeah. It is our annual tentpole event. It's our Registered Democrats Summit on May 22nd. It's a Thursday. It's all day, all free, all on Zoom. A day on Zoom, terrific, everyone says.
I can't wait to sit in front of my computer. Well, it's like vintage pandemic time. It's like it's nostalgia.
You can dip in and out. You don't have to be there for the whole 8 hours. But we have like the best and brightest of the movement to save this democracy. Speaking about partisan voter registration that we do, but also about all aspects of this fight. We have Rep. Jamie Raskin. We have Secretary Deb Haaland running for governor of New Mexico. It's looking good for Maxwell Frost to be there. We have Indivisible's Leah Greenberg confirmed, and Hunter Dunn from 5051, this movement that is spearheading the protests. We have Midas Touch, Jessica Craven, Robert Hubble, Lee McGowan, Politics Girl. Yeah, Billy Ray, messaging luminary. Yeah, it should be amazing. And more people we're working on right now.
Outstanding. I'm so excited I'm super excited to be a part of this. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you're doing. And one of our producer, Jerry, who connected with you, said, I forgot how great of a voice Jason Berlin has. So,
thank you so much.
I love that. I do the same thing. I'm like, I appreciate that tremendously. Jason, it's a pleasure as always. And folks can go, again, remind folks the website to register for the summit and for volunteering wherever they can.
Yes, it's fieldteam6.org, the word field, the word team, number 6.org. And yes, volunteer, donate, win. That's
Excellent.
the formula.
I like it. Now, if you're in Los Angeles, I have to come meet you sometime. Are you in LA or whereabouts are you?
Yeah, would love that. I am in Northeast LA, near Highland Park.
All right, my friends live over by the Universal Studios area, so we'll have to connect and grab coffee next time I'm out there. I would love to meet you.
Would love to.
Coffee on me for all the hard work you do. It's the least I can do.
Sweet.
Thank you so much.
I'll have a lot of coffee then. Thank you.
Outstanding. We'll talk to you again soon, and thank you again to you and all the volunteers making this happen. Let's get it done.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for what you do.
Of course. My pleasure. I have no other choice. I also was made crazy by all this. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
Let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk to Jen Zanotti and get motivated to do more work, like volunteering with Field Team 6.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs feature helps you stand out and hire fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
AP News, I'm Haya Pinjwani. President Trump is reacting to criticism to his social media account, posting an AI-generated image of him as the Pope. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Meghani reports.
President Trump is downplaying criticism of an AI-generated image of himself as the Pope. In the Oval Office, a reporter noted the image offended some Catholics.
They can't take a joke. You don't mean the Catholics, you mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it.
The president insists he had nothing to do with it.
That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from.
And says he didn't even see the image that was posted Friday on his Truth Social account and then promoted on the White House's official X site until last night.
Somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun, don't you?
And his family did.
Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, isn't that nice?
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
There's new cuts in military leadership. AP's Lisa Dwyer.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has directed the active military to shed 20% of its four-star general officers as the Trump administration continues to push the services to streamline their top leadership positions, including the National Guard. Hegseth has also directed the military to shed an additional 10% of its general and flag officers across the force, which could include any one-star or above or equivalent Navy rank. Hegseth says the cuts aim to free the military from unnecessary bureaucratic layers.
Chairs and hosts of the Met Gala have started to arrive to the New York Museum. At a news conference earlier today, actor Coleman Domingo, who's also a co-chair of the Met Gala, says there's so much talent on display at the Costume Institute, he is proud to take part.
George C. Wolfe said, God created black people, and black people created style. You will see that and so much more with this great exhibit.
This is AP News.
I'm Seth Sutal, and this is the AP Markets Report. Stocks closed lower on Wall Street, breaking a 9-day winning streak. The S&P 500 slid 0.6% Monday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 98 points. Drops in big tech stocks like Apple helped pull the Nasdaq Composite down 0.7%. Berkshire Hathaway slumped 5%. The legendary investor Warren Buffett announced over the weekend that he would step down as CEO by the end of the year. Buffett, who will stay on as board chairman, led Berkshire for 6 decades. U.S. crude oil fell 2% to about $57 a barrel. That came after the OPEC Plus group of oil-producing nations said it plans to increase output. Among energy companies, ExxonMobil lost 2.8%. Seth Suttel, New York.
Michigan is expected to suspend coach Sharon Moore for 2 games next season to address allegations that he failed to cooperate in the NCAA's sign-stealing investigation. I'm Haya Panjwani, AP News.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
WCPT replay.
Do we have a helper with our governor, J.B. Pritzker? I'm so proud of him for getting up and saying something and for letting this administration know that, like, don't mess with Illinois.
Yeah.
He has been a huge ally to the LGBTQ community his entire life.
Yes.
Like his entire career. He married people in his backyard before it was legal.
Yeah, I remember when we had all 3 gubernatorial candidates on when he ran for the first time. Pritzker was the one I was least leaning towards until he came in the studio and told his story about as a child being taken to Castro Street by his mother to watch the Pride Parade. Mm-hmm. And I listened to him and I said, man, you come by it honestly. It is in your DNA. I became a huge fan that day. We had him in, and I continue to be. I think we're really lucky.
Keep listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
I am, there are things that make me super happy. One is great weather, which it feels so nice in Chicago. It's absolutely stunning outside. The other thing is that you guys join our conversations, and I'm grateful for you and grateful for all the listeners who came out to enjoy our celebration on Saturday as we had our 20th anniversary for WCPT. There's a person that makes me happy. There's so many people that make me happy. And I get to talk to this one every single week. Jen Zanotti for our Motivational Mondays. All things GenZ.com. And I was excited to read your text. I don't know if we're going to talk about the thing that you texted me about, but it's entirely up to you because I worked. I think I told you I worked out last Monday. I went back to Doghouse.
You did.
CrossFit.
Yeah.
I did not go back today because I need to heal a little bit. I have something slipping back and forth over my kneecap that doesn't feel great. So I've been icing. I've been icing, and it seems like it's resolving. And I'm moving by walking and doing things like that, and low intensity things. It's going to take me probably another week to go back there, but they're amazing.
Excellent.
And I also look forward to working out possibly with you in the future. At any rate, hi.
Yeah, hi. Well, congratulations on the 20-year anniversary. That's amazing.
And you're a part of that. You're part of helping me get stronger as a broadcaster at another station so I can come here and be even better with this great team. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. Great. I hope you guys had a great celebration over the weekend.
We did. It was spectacular. I mean, and that's the thing is that you and I, when you do your podcast, we both do things that where we were working with people in person and interacting in different ways, but we also do these things online or on the air, and sometimes you're not sure. Sure, we get callers and texters, but to see folks really enjoy meeting each other, meeting us, we were excited to meet them like they were celebrities. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
That is so fun. That's awesome.
It was.
That's amazing.
I needed it. I didn't know how much I needed it.
Yeah, that's great. It's something, it just re-energizes you. I think that's great. And knowing that people so many people look forward to listening to you every day. Like, you are so special to people. And I think that's amazing that they were able to get the opportunity to come out and see you. And then, your regular listeners too. And like you said, you meeting them. So you make such a huge impact. So I think it's great to just be celebrated.
Thank you. And I think that's something I think we forget. Like, we kind of once in a while we'll you'll have an event coming up and you kind of dread it and you're like it's get emotionally prepared for this. Do you have advice for people who, like, I think sometimes I get anxiety. Like if folks notice, I generally get places right when I need to, and that sometimes means getting there a little bit late because I have anxiety ahead of time, and I think that I don't even know how to name it. Do you find techniques to like get yourself in a mindset for different experiences? You know, whether it's competing, training, just doing the busy work of the day. Are there techniques that you use?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think really being able to just do what you need to do to set the mood, like knowing, okay, I'm going to be around a lot of people, so maybe it's like having a lot of time to yourself earlier before that event, or wherever it is you might be going. Even competing, it's like, just kind of having that alone time to get ready, if that's like doing breathing techniques, if that's, listening to a podcast, if it's, something motivational, or listening to music, or whatever it is to kind of like psych you up. I also tell people, to envision yourself in a golden bubble sometimes when you're at events where there's a lot of people, because, as much as we love being able to connect one-on-one with people, it can be a little bit of like an energy suck, right? And so you want to make sure you kind of protect yourself and that there's only positive energy coming in and you're giving that out, and, just any negativity kind of detach from a little bit, because you never know what kind of energy you're going to be encountering when you're around a lot of different people. So I think just kind of really making sure to get yourself ready and prepared, psyched up, maybe do a little meditation, some breathing, have something that's really going to energize you music-wise or mood-wise. If you need to talk to, particular people beforehand to just get you excited. I think doing that's really important. Also, after events, I really like to stage or use Palo Santo to just kind of help clear some energy and bring in just positivity. And that always makes me just feel good and grounded.
Okay, let's go back to that for a minute. Did you say what you said? Sage? And what was the first thing?
Sage. Sage, that's great. So sage is great to help clear any negativity. It's also good for like viruses, things like that. If you're in a space, people will do that. Like if they get a new house, things like that. You want to clear out kind of like old energy, right? Or anything like negative. You can do that for yourself also. I do this a lot, like with my Reiki clients and stuff too, which you've experienced before. That's, something like where I want to clear kind of some of that old energy out before we start a session. But I do this for myself all the time. And then Palo Santo is it's a type of like wood, and it brings in a lot of positive energy. Can also help with like viruses and stuff like that to help kill some of that. But it's great. It's just a great smell. It feels good. It's a good mood booster. I even have, my husband who now is always like, maybe we should light a little Palo something if the energy's not right. So, it's one of those things. I like to believe that it works, and I feel good doing it. So I think that's something, it's a little ritual, or routine that you could get used to that'll help bring positive vibes.
I love that. Well, and it's interesting because I think, I'm going to try both of those. We've talked a lot about meditation, and I haven't been giving myself time. And here's the thing, I'll have a few moments to myself and think, okay, I should get one of those. I use a lot of audio on YouTube. There's some good guided meditations there. I think I don't know if I've kind of cycled through, and maybe I'm like, okay, I already know this one, and I find myself sort of not doing it. So I have to recommit. Like, it's weird to like want to make yourself meditate, but that's the only way you're going to meditate if it's not something you've made a habit yet. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly. It is something you kind of have to encourage yourself to do. I don't want to say force yourself.
Force!
But it is,
you will sit down and meditate. It seems aggressive. Yes. You've
got to do it, right? I mean, but it like you said, it's building the habit. Like, the only way you're going to do that is by doing the thing, So scheduling it into your calendar, if it's even 5 minutes, looking for a quick, short YouTube, 5-minute guided meditation, or even like doing different frequencies. You could look up frequencies on YouTube or Spotify. If you don't necessarily need to hear the words or people guiding you in anything, but just taking some quiet time, you can look up like frequencies for positive energy or healing, just different, manifesting, different kind of subjects. If you're grieving, anything like that, you can look up those terms. You can also do, they're the, oh my gosh, what are they called? The bowls, or the gong sounds too. Yeah.
I have one of those. I don't know how,
awesome.
I have one. The bowl with you're supposed to circle. I don't know how to use that. Next time I see you, I'll bring that with me.
But you can get the sounds, you can look those up too, or listen to that audio wise, and that you can listen to that and time yourself for 5 minutes, right? And that might just kind of help, clear your mind, make you be present, all of that stuff. So if you're kind of going through some guided meditations and you're like, I don't know, I'm not feeling this, you can always go to just different sounds.
I love that. I love that so much. And it's helpful because I know folks are stressed. And for whatever the reason is, but I am going to go ahead and go on a limb that folks who are listening to WCPT are stressed because they're appalled by what's happening. And I think there's that sense of helplessness. There's nothing we can do as we see things unravel. And that's I think that's a tough place to be. So let's say you're in an impossible position in jiu-jitsu and you feel absolutely helpless. You don't know. You can't see your way out of it. Everything's against you. How do you clear your mind in order? Because I've watched you. I've been watching some of your demonstrations and techniques. I'll tell Steve, and I go back to one of the things I've told you before about trying jiu-jitsu. If I have to get that close to somebody to defend myself, for me, I'm like, I need more of a at arm's length sort of defense technique. I need some sort of a collie stick. I don't know what I need, but how do you? In that moment of it feels like there's no way out of this. I think that's how we feel. We're in a jiu-jitsu hold, Jen. How do we clear our heads and take it?
And this is something interesting, and it's going to be a little bit different in a self-defense scenario, and that's why I really encourage people to train, because you're going to feel, not that you're going to feel more calm necessarily, but the muscle memory kicks in. So you kind of know how to respond a little bit better. Adrenaline's going to kick in and all of that. But if you're in the training environment, we're training, on the mat, and you're in an uncomfortable position and someone has you pinned or you don't know how to escape. The first thing I always tell people is just to breathe. It's learning to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And once you kind of trust where your body knows how to go, because if we hold our breath, right, and we don't breathe, which a lot of people naturally want to do when they first start training, it just seems normal. They hold their breath. That's not good for you.
What?
You need to be able to breathe. And so they also get really, really tense, and that exudes so much energy. And then oftentimes you end up moving, flailing a lot, and you can pull something on your own. You can hurt yourself. It's not really going to be efficient or effective. So learning to really breathe in those moments, kind of reevaluate, figure out, what you need to do. You need to frame, you need to move your hips, escaping ways that will, I know this is jiu-jitsu talk, but in life too, just kind of reassessing and reevaluating, taking a moment, breathing, and learning to be comfortable in these uncomfortable situations and figuring out, okay, I need to take a second. What do I need to do next? So I think that can kind of be a little bit helpful on and off the mats. A lot of the stuff we learn on the mats definitely translates to life lessons as well.
Yes. No, I think that's
which
absolutely
is why
true.
I love jiu-jitsu so much. Yeah.
Well, and I think I speak for a lot of people who will at some point in the day realize they haven't been breathing normally. I think that we've all, whatever we're I sigh a lot, and the times that I notice it the most is when I'm in the office for the state, and then I'm around other people. At home, I might do it, and it's it's just me and Steve, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm around other people. I'm that was loud. I'm
yeah, you haven't let out a breath all day. We do. We get tense, and we kind of we're not breathing properly. And it's just something to be aware of. I think awareness is always the thing, and it's kind of just like pay attention to that. I know we always say, like, focus on your breath. That'll help, but, I mean, really check in with your breath, because oftentimes you're not taking in a full inhale and exhale. So I always tell people to something great to start with and getting into that practice is like morning and night, take 3 deep breaths.
Okay.
And just, incorporate that in your routine. So then we know that we're like at least really kind of honing in on our breath, feeling what it should feel like. And we're doing that twice a day. And then hopefully we're able to kind of do that more so throughout the day or in moments where we get really stressed and need to kind of take a second.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, it's such helpful advice. Again, we've been talking to Jen Zanotti. You can go to allthingsgenz.com and explore all the great work that she does. Follow her on social media. YouTube, is YouTube one of the better places or one of the places you would like to direct folks?
Yes, YouTube is great if you want to see some of my jiu-jitsu tutorials. So that's also All Things Gen Z. And then Instagram is probably the best spot also, which is All Things Gen Z. And there'll be some exciting announcements coming soon, so
Excellent.
Stay tuned.
I see what you did there. All right, then fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jen. I look forward to seeing you more often soon, is all I'll say. How's that?
That's great.
Have a wonderful evening. My best to Jay, and I will talk to you again next week. If your schedule allows.
Have a great night.
You too.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Thank you, Jen. Let's take a break here. Our phone lines are open, 773-763-9278. That is the Credo Mobile phone and text line, by the way. That's 773-763-9278. Credo Mobile, a progressive phone company that is better for all people and the planet. More after this on WCPT 820, Heartland Signal, KTNF, AM 950, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and 1150 KKNW in Seattle, Washington.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Hypertension or high blood pressure is often referred to as the silent killer. That's because of the significant negative impact it can have on your health, even before you know you have the condition. Case in point, the most recent government statistics show that more than 3/4 of the 120 million Americans who have hypertension do not have it under control. First things first, you should know what your blood pressure is. And you can do this right at home. Sitting, feet flat on the floor, legs uncrossed, put the cuff at heart level with your arms supported on a table. A reading at or above 130/80, that means you have high blood pressure. To lower it, you can do a few things. Eat a healthier diet, get more exercise, quit smoking for sure, and drink less alcohol. Now, even if you do all those things, you might sometimes still need a medication to bring those numbers down. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-source single line activation on qualifying plan. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Come soon to Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning We always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or
and Pete.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
We need to speak out about this.
At 773-763-9278.
Hello.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
I don't know. The thing about the hello part is that I can't say it because then it's like hello, not squared, whatever. It's because it's four of them. Then it's a lot of hellos. Well, hello. Thank you, Dan Levy, for that. By the way, Lady B is back on the mic. By the way, do we know? Can you tell me what happened here? Why this magnificence is? Did we like specifically tell someone to make sure this happens?
Oh, well, I know Andy was working on getting new intro stuff. For it. So he was like, let's ask Dan Levy. He's got the great voice.
No, your microphone.
Oh,
specifically.
No,
Dan.
Oh, I did.
You did this?
Yeah, I did that.
Lady B! Thank you. It's good to have you back. They asked me, I think it was last year, what's the, if there was anything you could improve in the studio, I said, I just want one thing. I want to talk to Lady B. You know that. That's the only thing I want. That's the only thing I wanted. Yes. That's when you were grabbing the mic. I was like, oh no, it's going to be so sad again where I'm going to be just sort of clumsily trying to push all the buttons again. And people on Facebook are going to watch that. By the way, thank you everyone who's watching on Facebook. Do you want to hear some more wonderful things that listeners are saying? John Meyer, by the way, John Meyer, who I know has a business, so please drop that again because I didn't do it last time. I asked you to let us know because while we have great sponsors, you are also kind of our sponsors. Yes. So I'd like to uplift what you do. John says, thank you, Patty, and all of WCPT. You are all keeping me sane in the midst of the chaos that seems designed to bring us all down. We need your voices, and please know how much support you have here in Chicago and everywhere your voices reach. Sending all of WCPT a virtual hug and heartfelt thank you. You know, I will hug my emotional support dumpster fire. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's for all of you. Thank you again to our listener who sent that to me. It says it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. It is not fine. It is not okay. None of this is okay. And, on the news, in no reality should we have a president of the United States addressing the fact that there's an AI image of himself as the Pope on his social media platform, on his own account, saying, I never saw it, it's just a fake media, it's mad about it. I'm not even Catholic. It's not that it's such a disregard. It's so disrespectful. Yes. The Pope has just passed away. As a non-Catholic, I love Pope Francis. Right. I thought he was great. And in general, if you haven't seen it, it says I want to be Pope or so. And I was surprised that I wasn't getting more people. Because I get a lot of trolls on the Patti Vasquez show page, and quiet because I posted it, and with the response from Catholic organizations, from Catholics in New York, who said it was disrespectful. It is, and silence because all I posted was he doesn't respect your religion, but it's not going to make a difference. Right. It's not. I mean. No, nothing. There was an SNL bit with Jessica. Oh, I can't remember the redhead, the one that was in Zero Dark 30 and stuff. Really beautiful. Jessica Chastain, is that her name? Doesn't sound right. No. But they had a sketch where it was a talk show about all the things that Trump does, and surely this will be the thing that does him in. And at one point, she just has a big bottle of wine that she's chugging out of it. It just doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Right. Nothing matters. At any rate. We're going to open hey, Lady B, we're going to open up Alcatraz again. Have you ever been? No. I've been to Alcatraz. I mean, not it closed as a prison in 1963. I went as it's a tourist site. It's a museum. It's a moldy, musty, dank house for seagulls and tourists and Nicolas Cage references. That's it. Right? Welcome to the Rock. I'm not going to do Sean Connery. It's so bizarre. All right, let's get to Victor, who's calling from Oregon. Victor, how are you doing? Are you hydrating, my friend?
I'm actually sitting in the bathtub as we speak. How's that for hydrating? Big time.
Well, your skin is your biggest organ, and now that seems weird to say out loud. Anyway, yes, it's good for you. Soak it. He's soaking in it.
I'm not drinking my bathwater, though. I'm not drinking it.
Can I ask you a question? This is something that happened. This is one of the big fights I used to get into with my producer at another station. Do you take baths regularly, my friend?
Yeah, once in a while.
Right. So do you rinse off afterwards? Because I do.
Not always. You do?
Well, because you're sitting in your own stuff. So I feel like there's a rinse that needs. I'm not judging you, but at any rate, go ahead.
No, you're probably right. What I'll do is take a bath and then shower off real quick.
Yes, that's all. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
I'm not saying a big scrub. Yeah, but I mean, it's just me. I don't know. Okay.
Hey, let me be. I mean,
it's just
Patti Vasquez,
that skin.
You rub my back, I'll rub your back.
that's bathing. That's right. I don't know. You're just in skin stew. Anyway, what's on your mind, my friend?
Well, last night Donald Trump was asked a question whether he will uphold the Constitution, and he had to hesitate for a few seconds. He told the reporter, the interviewer, he said, "Well, I don't know." And then she asked him again, and he said, "Again, I don't know. I'll have to ask my attorneys." So this is really not a tough question. Mm-hmm. He took an oath of office twice to uphold the Constitution. And you mean to tell me that he doesn't know?
Right.
It's obvious.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
It's a yes or no question.
But
there's nothing in between. And when he said, "Well, I'll have to ask my attorneys," that means he's not going to follow the Constitution.
Right.
That's all that.
But I thought that was part of the... Well, that's why he didn't put his hand on the Bible, because he didn't take the oath to uphold.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, he was there. He said, "I do." When you get married, if you don't put a ring on and say "I do," guess what? You're married. But it's funny. Can you imagine watching Donald Trump in the Oval Office, surrounded by 30 lawyers and attorneys, jumping up and down after a few minutes, holding up his hand, and the attorneys will ask him, "Well, what's up, Mr. Trump?" He says, "Can I go to the bathroom?"
Oh dear.
Well, I'm just saying that everything that Donald Trump does, he has to consult his attorneys. He even said that several times in the past. He says, "I don't do nothing until I ask my attorneys." And he's got like 30 or 40 of them all the time around him. So, we're in for a big hurt here with Donald Trump in the Oval Office and 30 attorneys. That's why he has at least one or two executive orders a day, because those attorneys, they got to earn their fee. And so they're writing up all these executive orders for Donald Trump. I think we're at number 653.
Oh my God! So, I know. Yeah, it's the only way he can. And which on the plus side, it means they're not permanent, but so much of the damage might be at least take a long time to fix. I have to run to our break here. We have a guest coming up.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Victor.
Day.
You too. Thank you so much for calling.
Wait a second. Stay hydrated.
I'm taking a big sip right now. Thank you. Stay hydrated. Talk to you later, Victor.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Cinco de Mayo.
Ciao. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Ciao, baby. Ciao.
Let's take a break here. When we come back, we have a wonderful conversation coming up. We have Jim Alber, who is from Tomahawk, Wisconsin, is joining us to talk about school funding and boycotts. More after this on WCPT 820 and KKNW 1150 and KTNF AM 950.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update. This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-741-5819. 800-741-5819. 800-741-5819. That's 800-741-5819.
As farmers and ranchers, stewardship of the land comes naturally. Your work keeps our water clean, improves the soil, and enhances wildlife habitat. It also provides countless benefits, not just for you and your family, but for millions of Americans who depend on this region every day without even realizing it. Thank you for being stewards of America's prairie for all of us. Take a moment to find out how conservation pays. Visit conservationpays.org.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
Hi, this is Patti Vasquez. We appreciate all our fans of Driving It Home, and your support of show sponsor Monaco Brewing Company ensures that our important conversations continue right here on WCPT each weekday from 5 to 7 p.m. You can now find the Resistance IPA, Labor Lager, or the Resistance Pilsner beer at several Illinois locations, including Arminetti Wine and Spirits in Woodstock, Pineapple and Company in North Riverside, Lyons Beverage Depot in Arlington Heights, and MP's Liquor, Wine and Beer in North Aurora. For a full list of Chicagoland locations, please visit MonacoBrewingCompany.com. As always, please vote and drink responsibly.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. I also want to thank our sponsors. As you just heard, on Monaco Brewing Company, we will be broadcasting live from the Madison Tap Room on May 13th. That's a live broadcast from 5 to 7 p.m. So if you want to make a road trip, I know we had a wonderful friend of ours, from a listener of the show, a road trip, and came to join us on our last event. We had a wonderful crowd. So please, if you want to join us, that's next Tuesday, the 13th, in Madison. And I'm wondering if our good friend Jim Alber now from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Hi, Jim. How are you doing? My notes say you're just a regular guy from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Is that how you want to? Is that your favorite description? I'm just a regular guy from Tomahawk. Hey, Jim.
No. I'm a citizen of the United States of America.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're fired up, my friend. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit.
Yep, a little bit. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up at the same place where I live right now on my 280-acre farm, and in northern Wisconsin, Antigo silt loam full of rocks, and grew up with my dad was a Navy swimmer, World War II, got 3 Bronze Stars in the South Pacific, and married to a woman who has spent 15 years in the Army. A good share of it in the reserve, combat medic, and so we're a bit of a military family, and we're honorable patriots in this country, and so I'm not sure exactly how you structure this, so I can keep talking about some things.
Yeah, go for it. Share your thoughts, my friend. It's your stage right now. Go ahead.
Oh, well, thank you. So I mentioned to the gentleman I talked to earlier about the show, when I read Miss Vasquez's articles and the ones from Kirk Bangstad, I'm impressed with their writing. Happy to read their narrative. Here's where I'm coming from. That at some point we have to start breaking the issues down to what individual citizens of the United States of America can manage. I think Kirk Bangstad's article very recently, yesterday, I can't remember, was about doing strikes, doing some kind of national strike. And that, I think Labor Day is coming. That's a really big agenda. Here's what we have done, is when we discover, and it's pretty easy to do just by asking what somebody's opinion is of the world in which we live. It's easy to find out if a vendor you're talking to or thinking about buying from, restaurant, hardware store, whatever it is, it's easy to figure out if they're ardent, crazy, right-wing Trumpers. And if you discover that, you just don't buy. You just boycott individually. And I think we can figure out how to boycott in very small terms and make a big difference, because the big number is 70-some million people. The little number is my going to the stores and restaurants and places that I choose to spend my money, our money.
Absolutely.
So that's our way of approaching it to break this thing down. Another example, and I got this from an article I read in the last day or so. It's on HuffPost Personal, and I don't know anything about all of that stuff, but if people know about how to go look around, they can see this. I happen to see it on my phone thing in the middle of the night. And a gentleman in Utah was thinking about, and I don't know how he got to this, the school lunch program debt in his local community. And he called the school district, and the school district said that particular day in time, the debt load for the school lunch program, the deficit, was $830-some. Mm-hmm. And he thought that there's some way that he can address this on the small micro level. So he paid for that day or that period of time when they told him it was $830-some. And then he told some of his colleagues, and apparently he had a good enough job that he could afford to pay out $830-some to the school district. When that happened, he told his friends at work, and other people pitched in to pay that debt down. And the point of that is, as that debt got paid down, then new debt was also being created at the same time. So that dichotomy was always at work. And then the person was able to help with the debt and at the same time think about how that person could call legislators and leaders of the community to get the larger policy questions addressed. And I thought that is a really good way of breaking down a problem in every community, every single community in the United States of America, and do something positive that makes one feel good on a daily basis and helps keep the children in schools from having to be embarrassed by their poverty, or they're not necessarily below the poverty level where they get free and reduced lunch program, but the people who are right at the poverty level who are too embarrassed to fill out the paperwork. So that is what I called my Tomahawk School District in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Can I keep talking?
Yeah.
Okay. And I found out that the overall deficit of our school lunch program is about $17,000. Now, a lady from Tomahawk, I won't say her name because I don't have permission, created an account at Park City Credit Union so people can put in donations for the Tomahawk School District lunch program. And now, I would invite anybody who's listening to give a donation to the Tomahawk School District lunch program. But beyond that, wherever anybody is listening to this program, they have a school district. It's their school district. Now, I hope somebody feels generous enough to send a contribution to Tomahawk. But they live in a school district that undoubtedly has a deficit in their school lunch program that can be addressed by every individual who has the heart and the financial capability to donate something, even if it's a small amount, to help with that. Now, I extend this to my theory about why the right-wingers won the last election, and that is that every time a kid is embarrassed because he or she cannot have a regular lunch when everybody else is eating it, that's an embarrassment for life. Every kid who is looked upon, knows that they're in the low end of the totem pole because they're wearing the same pair of pants or dress multiple times a week. Those people are the frustrated people who voted out of some desperate anger to get something to change. So I'm inviting anyone to contribute something, and I guarantee that if one contributes in some small way to some small event like the school lunch program in a school district, that one will feel very good about oneself at the end of the event.
I think you're right. And there's so many. I mean, a lot of folks have been, starting up mutual aid society, foundations in order to make sure people in their communities have what they need, because there is now such a lack when it comes to whether it's nonprofits and in places like Wisconsin where they are defunding public schools in order to prop up charter schools and parochial schools, and they divert the funds that way. And I'm so grateful that you've brought this to our attention. And not only that, but talking about the boycotts and supporting businesses or withholding support from businesses that are aligned with MAGA. Because I know, now are you using Goods Unite Us, which is I know Kirk Bankson has talked about that quite a bit on in his newsletter. Are you familiar with Goods Unite Us and being able to determine who contributes more to Democrats than Republicans?
I would say I know that it's out there. What we've done pretty successfully, personally, is just asking. If I said, "Well, how do you feel about what's going on in the country right now?" You're going to get an answer. You're going to get the answer you need to get you to where you need to go.
Interesting. I like that. Jim's like, hey, what's your sense on things? And just put it out there. I love that.
Just say it. I think, when I had a big, important job in corporate America, I used to say to people, state the obvious. State the obvious.
Name the thing. Yep.
Say it out loud. Ask out loud, and you'll get an answer, and it'll be an accurate answer in the big picture. I don't know what my time frame is here.
I do have to run to a break, but go ahead, finish your thought.
Well, I actually wanted to get on to a military question or a comment, but I can wait till after your break or however you want to do that.
Let me take a break and we'll come back to that. And I do have to get some calls, so I'll find out what your thoughts are about a military issue. We are talking to our friend Jim Alber from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Let's take a break here and continue when we come back on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, Washington, KTNF AM 950 in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And, of course, we're here in Chicago. Or you can listen to us anywhere you have the TuneIn app, Facebook Live, and YouTube. More after this.
Dive deeper into the heart of the news and stories at WCPT 820 and across the Midwest by checking out our website, heartlandsignal.com.
It's the coverage I can count on every time.
For the latest news updates, in-depth analysis, compelling stories, comprehensive election coverage, live streams, and thought-provoking opinions, head to heartlandsignal.com.
When I need to know, they're there.
They keep me informed and updated wherever I am.
Stay informed with WCPT 820, your go-to source for where facts matter.
If you're looking to purchase a loved one's home after they passed away, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Pam wanted to purchase her grandmother's $400,000 home after she passed away, which was left to Pam's father, Ted, and her Aunt Betty. Ted listens to my show and wanted to forego his half of the equity of his mom's home and sell Pam the home for $200,000. Bad move. I recommended Pam purchase the home for $400,000 and get a gift of equity from her father, Ted, for $200,000, which enabled Pam to purchase the home with a lower rate and no money out of her pocket. Let's review. I helped Pam purchase her grandmother's home without having to bring a penny to the closing and secure a lower rate. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 112-4061.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
Streets to political beats. You're driving it home with Patti Vasquez. Where progressive talk fuels the ride.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. We've been talking to Jim Alber, who is out of Tomahawk, Wisconsin, has some thoughts on how we can be more proactive in helping others in our community in the wake of what's happening with MAGA Republicans decimating so many of our programs. Hey, Jim, so you wanted to move on to a military topic. I've got a couple minutes here before we turn it over to some callers. What's on your? What did you want to address?
Sure. Well, this is a little bigger picture. But it gets back to the individuals who have dedicated their time and lives to swearing the oath to the Constitution in the military, reserves and regular military folks. Now, in all of industry, we have 5, 10, 15, 20-year plus rewards in the form of vesting for retirement and benefits. The military is 20 or nothing. You put in 20 or you get nothing. Now, my wife put in 15, just shy of 15 years, and our eldest daughter we lost 4 years ago became ill, and my wife had to come home and end her military career. Nothing. Got nothing. Now, this is a bigger picture to call your Congress people and say, let's have vesting in the military like we have vesting in every other segment of society, corporate America, industrial America, social America. That is something that people can do proactively in the next day. Call your Congress people and demand that happen to take care of our military people. That's that question. So that I wanted to make happen. I wanted to just jump back to that school lunch program. The school district at Merrill, Wisconsin, I talked to those folks today and was told that they provide, and Tomahawk does as well, provide free, unlimited breakfast for every student in the school system. And in Merrill, nobody is cut out of a lunch at all for lack of funds. So I think those people need to get some phone call to congratulate them on the efforts that they're putting in as a really good community. Those are good communities filled with good, well-meaning communities or well-meaning people, most of whom are probably very conservative. We're up in the sticks here where people are conservative, but it doesn't make them bad people. And I think all of us progressives, or whatever we call ourselves, have to recognize that there are a lot of conservative people who are good people. And we just have to target the things that we can do locally at the small scale and to make the world a better place.
I love it.
I guess
I love it. Yeah, no, Jim, I love that. I really appreciate everything you share with us, your insight. I was not familiar with the vesting element of the military, and I will call my congressman, Mike Quigley, and find out where we are on that, if there's any movement to go in that direction, because, I mean, MAGA is always, waving the flag and rah-rah our veterans, and yet we see so much to the opposite when it comes to what's happening in D.C. and across the country. Thank you so much. Now, what were we going to say?
I was going to say, I think that may be a Jim Alber idea. I have not heard that coming through any political system. So I think that's coming from me, from our personal experience. And I think that is a big deal. That's a big deal.
I agree. I was not aware, and I think we need to make sure more people are. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insight. I wish you a wonderful evening and my best to your family. And really, it's such a valuable conversation to have. And I'm going to look into more of this and spread the word. Thank you, Jim.
Excellent. Next time you want me to talk, I've got more. Thank you.
I believe it. Thank you so much, my friend. That was great. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. I know that some folks have been. Oh, this is exciting. Hold on. Here's Mike in Naperville. Hey, Mike, what's on your mind, my friend?
Well, hello, Patty, my softball friend. How are you, my dear?
Hey, that's Mike, and I have to remember where you're from. Naperville. How's it going? When are you guys? Are you guys? This weather has been erratic. Are you guys out there practicing every week? What's going on?
Oh, God, this weather's crazy. I don't know what to make of it anymore. It's a nice one day. It's cold the next. It's crazy.
I hate playing softball.
I'm used to it.
I hate playing softball in this weather, though, because you're afraid to hit the ball. Yes. It hurts when it's cold. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what's on your mind?
I was having coffee this morning, and I look up on the television screen, and I go, that's Patty. I got to give her a call. And say hello. I saw you on WGN this morning.
Yeah, full disclosure, I wasn't entirely sure they were going to let me go on because of my history. So I'm very grateful.
I remember.
Yeah, the producers were very nice. Everyone was fantastic. So Tanya and Amy were wonderful, and being there with Angie McMahon, we have a show. Oh, so thank you for reminding me, everybody. I am going to be at the Comedy Plex in Oak Park this Friday, 8 o'clock show, which means I'll get off the air at 7, race over to I'll be driving very carefully and mindfully, driving to the Comedy Plex in Oak Park. It's an 8 o'clock show. It's not just for moms, but it is a show called Moms Who Drink and Swear. I know that you're all not surprised that that's what my show is. Lady B, can you come on Friday? I would love to have you as my guest, my friend.
Yes, I'm going to try to get there.
Okay, let me know, and I will make sure we have a ticket for you, because they're more than half sold out so far.
Okay.
So, folks, please, we would love to have you. And then I'm also going to be doing a show the following week on the 17th. I'm going to be all over the place. I'll be in Rockford at Hope and Anchor this Saturday. Are you coming? Can you come to any of these shows, Mike?
I'm going to try and get to the Oak Park show. I can't promise you I'll be there, but I'm going to make every effort to attend.
I appreciate that. That's so funny. Yeah, that was it's so fun. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've done television and talked about comedy, so I think I did okay. Was I funny? I hope I was funny.
Oh, you were great. You did fantastic. Yeah.
I'm so needy. Tell me I'm good. Tell me I was funny. I wouldn't be in comedy if I didn't need the laughter and the adulation from the audience.
Patty, you're a natural. You really are. You make it look easy. You do.
Oh, thank you so much. But like I said, I was a little bit nervous. But at any rate, thank you.
Well, it didn't show. It didn't show. But another thing, I hope you do some more remote events. I could not make Saturdays get together, but I so wanted to be there because there are so many people that'd like to meet in person.
I'm thinking about I'm trying to. I know that some folks are like, we should do this every year. So I'm trying to think of it. I don't know if I can get the whole station again, but I'll try to figure out something we can do locally, like I did that when I did the Lions. Was it Lions Township? What township did I do when I met you and your wife?
Oh, that was out in the Wayne County Democrats. I think that was out there by in Warrenville. That was the Warrenville.
Yeah. Well, I will try to do at the very least. I'll try to do that. Or you can always road trip to I'm just saying to Madison and meet Kirk Bankstead, because he's a ball of energy. I'm just saying.
I'd like to do that too. Hopefully, I'll get out there one of these days.
I believe I'm going to be broadcasting at Porch Fest in Oak Park on June 13th. So put that in your calendar too. So
Okay.
Yeah, you can come listen to live music, and I'll be broadcasting there. Thank you so much, my friend.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You bet, Patty. Take care of yourself.
Take care, Mike. Go hit.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Go hit one for me. All right. Just point at the.
I'll try my best.
Point at right field.
I might throw my shoulder out. I'll throw my shoulder out, but it's worth it.
Your shoulder. All right. Thanks. Thanks, Mike. Take care. And Dave, Fozzie Bear. Dave, it was such a pleasure to meet
Okay, you did get it. All right.
I'm looking at that picture and I'm like, I really should have cleaned the inside of my eyes. I have a little bit of eye gook, a little bit of eye booger right there. I'm just looking at that. Thank you for these wonderful pictures. Thank you.
I thought you I love the one with the 20-year anniversary. You know?
We all had a different. We didn't have an image of what you looked like, but I wanted to pinch your cheeks. You're so cute. You're so cute.
Oh, just a rumbly-tumbly teddy bear.
Stop. now that I don't know why it's so different for me now. He's adorbs. All right, go ahead. Not that I didn't think you were adorable. I'm just saying. All right, continue. Yes, sir.
Anywho.
Yes.
No, it was great. And like I said, I was sorry that guys like Roosevelt and Jim and some of the regulars couldn't make it. It would have been great to see them too.
I agree. I agree. And Debbie from Old Town. I mean, we have so many folks. Myrna. We need everybody in the same room. Yep. And Judy.
Been cool.
Judy from Niles. Come on now. I mean,
yes, and
I know I'm missing some.
I got to meet Karen though, and so that was
Isn't that
great.
wild? Me too. I got to get a big hug from. She's been so supportive of me, Karen from True Blue Politics. You can catch the podcast everywhere you listen to podcasts. She's been very kind to me and offering me words of support as I get more and more death threats and really horrible language thrown at me. I'm fine.
Like they were talking about Governor Pritzker or something. It could have him. Why don't we do a letter writing campaign to him to buy the station? So we got,
Dave, I told him to his face to buy radio stations. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I know that more people, maybe he looked at a comic and just sort of yeah, you're crazy. But no, I agree with you. Oh my God, it's the end of the show, Dave.
Okay, I'll give you one more Dick K one. He used to always go, "Good Lord."
Good Lord. Now, if I say "Good Lord," well, is that too much of a copy, or is that an homage?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
No, that's an homage. I loved it too when they did that to the end where you all gave a nice homage to Dick.
Yes.
I was like that in that movie when he said enough. After Keira Knightley.
Yep.
And that enough.
Well, I gotta go make dinner for Cinco de Mayo for my mom and my husband and my sons. All right, thank you so much, Dave. Thanks, Fozzie. I'm gonna call you that from now on. Love you. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Good night.
Have a great night, Lady B. I'm so glad our mic is back for you. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye to KKNW 1150, KTNF AM 950, and bye, everybody at WCPT.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe? No-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m.? Big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas? The ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk. Real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store single line activation on qualifying plan. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Give your liver the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to newnordicusa.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
If cage walls could talk, with Jody Whittaker.
Captain Paul Watson is a marine wildlife conservation and environmental activist.
And as his head rose out of the sea and his eye was there right before me, so close I could see my own reflection in that eye. That whale understood what we were trying to do because I could see the effort he made to pull himself back. And instead of crashing forward, he began to slide back to the sea as I disappeared beneath the surface, and he died. He could have killed us and chose not to. So I owe my life to that whale.
If cage walls could talk, Saturdays at 5.
Check up on health with Chris Whitting.
More than 29 million people in the U.S. have diabetes. But Dr. Julie Palmer from Boston University School of Public Health says there are dietary changes you can make to avoid diabetes, such as avoiding soft drinks.
Another thing that will really help that's also very feasible is to increase the amount of cereal fiber in their diet. And all that means is eating more of whole grain products. For example, switching from a typical brand cereal to oatmeal. You can vastly increase the amount of fiber, or just picking a cereal that has high fiber. That can reduce diabetes risk by as much as 20 or 30%. It appears that eating less meat is helpful, but really keeping down the calories and increasing the cereal fiber seems to be the best way to go with diet.
With Checkup on Health, I'm Chris Whitting.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
It's time for the Rick Smith Show. Now, here is the voice of the working class, Rick Smith.
And welcome, brothers, sisters, working class heroes. This is the Rick Smith Show. Thanks so much for being here today on the big program. Lots to get to, lots to talk about. Pope Trump, what do you think? Just that coming out of my mouth, just I can't help but laugh. Just the thought that Trump would, I don't know. It's just lightning bolts. If no smoke coming out of the top of the Vatican, only lightning bolts going in. If that were ever to happen, now I don't think it's going to happen, obviously. But it was an interesting troll. And what it got is it got a lot of my lefty friends all worked up because, Donald Trump thinks he's going to be, yeah, he thinks he's a wannabe dictator. Everything revolves around him. Everything is him. And I'm hoping my red hat friends, because a lot of people, I'm offended. Okay, be offended if you have to be. But, me, I'm a little more offended by the fact that I also came out over the weekend from an interview he did with NBC that he doesn't really give a rat's behind about your kids either. He says, what was the quote? I don't think a beautiful baby girl that's 11 years old needs to have $30. I think they could have $3 or $4. They don't have to have 200 pencils. They can have 5. And you go, I think you're missing the point here, Donnie. There are people here, they're more concerned about keeping a roof over their head. I don't know what world you live in where kids have $30. And if that kind of extravagance is where you are, and we're talking about giving those people more tax cuts, I don't know, maybe you're on the wrong side of this.